All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Complexity Casting with me, your casting host, Beef. Thanks for being here, guys. Gonna get into game number 2 in this best of 3 series between Complexity Gaming and Lions eSportsKlubb. Lions up 1-0 in this series. And, well, what I would certainly say is a bit of a surprise. The number 7 team in Heroes of Newerth going to be going up against number 3 right here in Complexity Gaming. And coL drops game number 1. These teams have very similar styles. I mentioned that in the last game. They both typically like to draft a strong carry. They like to draft a strong dual mid lane. They like to draft a strong jungler and then a great suicide. They don't try to go for offensive tri-lanes too often. They don't try to go for lots of solos or an early game victory. They just play standard. They try to capitalize on their opponent's mistakes, and generally Complexity does that better. They're just the more experienced team. Some would say the more individually skilled team, and I think that most people would agree that they have some very, very skilled players over there, but Lions just looked dominant in that last game. Flensmeister just crushing his lane Hag against a suicide Plague Rider. That Plague normally wins 9 out of 10 times. Flensmeister not only won, he dominated B-Kid, and well, with some great portal key mobility throughout the mid game, able to take good team fights and set us up for a game number 2 where Complexity's got to put it all on the line. They don't want to drop into the loser's bracket, but I think they got what it takes. We'll see. Let's get on into the game. Fade and Parasite going to be blind banned by Francie, who is the new drafter. At least they're trying him out as drafter right now for Complexity. It might not be a permanent thing, I don't know, but I know that he has been working with them as the drafter in scrims recently and this weekend in HoN Tour. So he does blind ban Fade and Parasite, getting rid of a lot of aggressive potential right there. Wild Soul and Zephyr going to be removed on the other side. A couple of the agility pushers. Zephyr just so tanky, and Wild Soul, I mean, he's the bear. There's literally nothing to say other than the bear. Glacius, Keeper of the Forest, Tempest, Pharaoh, Moon Queen, and Ophelia make it into the lock pool. So a wide and varied lock pool. 3 junglers make it in. 3 of the pushing-oriented junglers, that's for sure. With Keeper, Tempest, and Ophelia. A suicide with Pharaoh, a support in Glacius, and a hard carry there in Moon Queen. We'll see which ones make it into the lock pool. Would expect Keeper of the Forest very early on. But we'll see what Lions picks to maybe make Complexity think twice about picking up that Keeper of the Forest. We'll see. Francie chooses to ban out Wretched Hag, Draconis, and Aluna. So getting rid of the carry potential there of Draconis and even the carry potential of Wretched Hag. I hear that, well, Complexity has been known to run quite a bit in the past. Getting rid of it, though, saying, Flensmeister, that was a little bit too strong from you. We're not going to let you have that again. And then Aluna being banned out as well. Even though Francie was playing it in the last game, don't want to give up that suicide that support too early. Pebbles, Engineer, and Plague Rider being banned out by Lions. So even though they were able to shut down the Plague Rider last time, as soon as the Wretched Hag was banned out, maybe they say, okay, that was our counter to Plague Rider. We know that Flens can beat a suicide Plague. We don't have anything else. So get rid of the Plague Rider, say we're not going to deal with it. That is a possibility. I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but that's my speculation. And then, of course, the aggressive mid lane there. Double stun combination of Pebbles, Engineer not going to be showing its face in this game. Maybe game 3. Who knows? Silhouette going to be first picked here by Complexity, going with the hard carry and one of Hackstron's specialties. Going to be joined by a couple more heroes in the next 30 seconds, but Lions goes for Master of Arms and Bubbles. So picking up a Suicide or a solo there with Bubbles, and then Master of Arms is one of the more versatile heroes in the game. You talk about Torture, Aluna, Hammerstorm, Master of Arms. The key word there is versatility. They can be played in so many different ways. Your Aluna, your Master of Arms, your Torturer. They can be played as support. They can be played as semi-carry. They can even try to hard carry. Hammerstorm, you can play him as an initiator, a secondary support, a semi-carry, a hard carry. And picking them up early in your lineup gives you a lot of versatility and you don't get locked in. That's why we see 3 out of those 4 heroes picked up right here as Torture or Hammerstorm is the choice now from Complexity. So going to tailor their lineup around those heroes. And Francie plays a very, very competent Torture. We've seen him recently go on some massive roaming streaks with that hero. And we'll see. Typically when they run Torture, they actually don't run a jungle. I think I've seen that now about 3 times, but I doubt that they're going to give up Keeper of the Forest here. They might run a Suicide Keeper of the Forest, but that means that they would have to pick up Glacius. And I'm not sure if Lions is going to give them Glacius, as they did just pick up Meraxis. So Meraxis, Master of Arms, that's a good lane for sure. Meraxis, Glacius is a better lane, though. And we'll see here in a moment. There's Tempest and Moon Queen. All right, so that's what Lions is going to do. And I honestly think that we might see a Glacius and go for a no jungle strategy. That is a possibility here. Or you could run Torture as a solo. There's a lot of options here for Complexity. I could definitely see them picking up any of those 3 heroes. I think that they would all work for sure. If they want to go with the jungler in Ophelia, they do end up going Pharaoh. So going to have that swapped over to B-Kid here momentarily. And then throw B-Kid in the Suicide. Going to have Keeper of the Forest in the jungle, while Torture or Hammerstorm do their thing mid. And Silhouette solos bottom. On the other side, Lions going to be running the Tempest as a jungler. Moon Queen going to be farming. Bubbles going to do his thing, Suicide, while Master of Arms Rax is hanging out there in the middle lane. And that's it, guys. Let's get it on and get into game number 2 of this series. Lions could close it out right here. Complexity, though, they've got to bring it back. If they want to take to even and take it to a game 3, they got to get it done right here, right now. Going to go into a pause because what more time do you need? A 15-minute locking phase followed by a 5-minute pause. I'm going to get a little bit real, guys. I don't like pauses very much. Not when I'm casting, not when I'm playing. But then again, I mean, there are certainly times when I need a pause when I'm playing, and sometimes you just got to go take care of things. You've been talking about your draft, and you can't walk away from the computer, and your cat's pounding on the door, and she wants to be pet. Sometimes you just got to go pet your cat for 5 minutes. Like, that's a thing. I will tell you, though, that I cast a game a few weeks ago, probably a month and a half ago now, in the Sound Blaster Heroes League, where a team paused for 25 minutes using all three of their pauses so that a guy could go do dishes in the middle of the game, in the middle of the cast. It's a best-of-1 series. Like, the game was 30 minutes into a best-of-1 series. It's like, you really can't just play out the rest of the game, like maybe 20 more minutes at max. You have to go do dishes, like, in the middle of this game. That was abysmal. Whoever that team was, I'm still mad at you. I think it might have been Vitriolic Gaming. So there you go. Vitriolic Gaming, I'm still mad at you about that. Now, Vitriolic, they've actually been made their way back up into HoN Tour, or into cycle number 3. As we can take a look at the standings here in a minute, perhaps, if everyone's not here yet. And, well, looks like they're actually going to be ready. So, not going to take a look. And so, spoiler alert, guys, if you guys don't want to know results from any of the other matches, tune out now. Going to be going over that for the next 30 seconds, a minute or so. Spoiler alert, 5 more seconds. Spoiler alert. Okay. Trademark Esports took their series 2-0 over Dober on Damp. I talked with Porch from DOND, and he said that they actually, the first game, they did really well, and he thought that they had an advantage, but ended up taking one bad team fight, spiraled out of control. N9 Gaming, formerly known as Druids, and now actually known as Mistral Esports, a French organization, took their series 2-0 over FYKU. QSQ 357 advanced 2-1 over QSQ 777, while TT Esports 2-0'd Pencils. You saw that series right here on coLcast. Stay Green 2-0'd Vitriolic Gaming. That's what you get for doing the dishes. One Trick Pony takes their series 2-1 over Shit Happens, while Complexity went 2-1 over Domain of Pain to make it here into the game that you're watching right now. And Lions eSportsKlubb 2-0'd Call It Karma. So the recent runner-ups in the Sound Blaster Heroes League qualifier number 3, not quite able to withstand the pressure of Lions. So that's where we're looking. Current games that are going on Trademark Esports up 1-0 right now over N9 Gaming, while TT Esports is up 1-0 over QSQ357. Stay Green taking on One Trick Pony as well. I believe that's going on over at HoNcast. Stay Green up 1-0. And that leads us back into the game that we are in right now. Also in the losers bracket, we did have FYKU actually forfeiting to Dober on Damp, where QSQ777 is up 1-0 over Pencils. Shit Happens up 1-0 over Vitriolic Gaming. And Domain of Pain up 1-0. Alright guys, well we're back here. Complexity Casting. HoN Tour live. HoN Tour more like delayed by 6 minutes, but pretty much live. It's live when I'm casting it. 6 minutes delayed when you guys are seeing it. Sorry about that. My power actually just disconnected there for a brief second. And, well, as a result, my computer turned off. But going to be coming back up in right now. Getting this game going correctly. So we do have Silhouette actually being babysat by Torture here in the bottom lane, while Hammerstorm being played by LesQQ is going one-on-one with a Bubbles in the middle lane. And well, that's certainly interesting. Meanwhile, top Pharaoh is going to be going up against Moon Queen. And Complexity falling behind perhaps a little bit right here. It looks like, I mean, their lanes. Very interesting lane setup. Suicide Meraxis. And a Silhouette's like not really going to kill this Meraxis. Especially with the Torture being off stacking and everything. Meraxis, especially with a little bit of regen, like he went for that very early Apprentice Robes. He's able to spam out his axes very effectively. I've actually been victim to this myself a couple of times. Pharaoh's diving deep over here and does get the kill onto Flensmeister. So P-Kid with the big plays. Teppa's going to come in and try to get the kill onto Pharaoh. Pharaoh actually going to try to dodge right here. Well, will he be spotted out? Yes, he most assuredly will. There's the Glacial Blast going to be going out, and there's the second wave. Wow, Pharaoh escaped. So extremely poorly played there by Hansken. He should most certainly have been able to get that kill. Shouldn't have used the Glacial Blast until he needed to. I guess he was worried about Pharaoh cutting out the other side. But, yeah, just an early Glacial Blast right there, and Pharaoh is able to walk right away. And going to be going into another pause. So a bit unfortunate. The second pause here by the Legion side. Complexity needing to take care of one thing real quick there, as Francie is going to disconnect actually. But take a look at the CS here in some of the other lanes. Silhouette at 31-1 in the bottom lane. That's pretty good for her. Meraxis is at 28-3 though, so I mean this is what I'm talking about. Meraxis actually does relatively well against Silhouette in a 1v1 situation, and the Torture is not going to help out. Sorry guys, I'm just letting chat know once again because, I don't know, I mean, I told chat, guess nobody paid attention. And, gonna be going back in now to this game. Let's get on Tempest farming pretty dang well. At 307 gold per minute, currently the top in the game, whereas the Suicide Meraxis is second highest. Moon Queen, after taking some early pressure there from Pharaoh, dropping a little bit lower down to 260 gold per minute, but still in a comfortable range for sure. And looks like Tempest might want to start pushing up the top lane. Moon Queen has the Ring of the Teacher, going to be able to mount up a push very, very soon here. Bottom lane, Franzi starting to work on this tower with some impalement. But with so many creeps around, not going to be able to get it down super fast. And Master of Arms is actually going to use the green goo to try to prevent this as long as possible. Top lane, it looks like Lions will actually take theirs down first, perhaps. No, maybe not. I don't know. Don't know if they're going to be trying to go in here and stop this at all as the tree grapple goes out. Both towers go down in the long lane, and Pharaoh actually not going to use that ultimate. Canceling it. The animation on that is quite long, so you can stop cancel that for quite a while. And Tempest's going to be going in for round 2 on this tower. Going to start to put some pressure out, but here comes well, the TPs. There's the Hammerstorm stun going to be coming in, and the Wrath of Pharaoh. Moon Queen ultimate going to be going off, but she does not have enough damage to follow up on this, and Flensmeister in some trouble. Even the root right there, the uproot on the trees, able to get them in for some body blocking. Complexity off to a 3-0 lead in terms of hero kills, so that's a good way to start. And I feel like the stream should be back up already. Should be back up in a minute here. Shouldn't have anything to worry about. I do need to mute the sound again, most likely. Sometimes the settings get all out of whack. And yeah, you're probably going to hear an ad when the stream goes live, because I can't mute it until it starts playing an ad, because Chrome makes sense like that. Hammerstorm taking, throwing a little bit of a hammer there. Actually a big hammer at Krebson's face. And Krebson, I feel like if he had activated the double damager, could have actually gone for a kill right there. But doesn't know what's going on the other side of the river. I just saw something flash. Stream's trying to go live. It's trying to play an ad. What's it doing? Hold the phone. There it is. There's the ad. Ha! Nailed it. I'm really good at this game, guys. Alright, so back into this one now that I got my full attention back. No co-caster still. Makes me sad. But what are you gonna do? Looks like Complexity moving around, trying to actually set something up here in the middle lane. As Hanskett is spotted out by Keeper the Forest. Keeper was invisible. Very sneaky quiet. And B-Kid looking to perhaps go on Moon Queen up here in the top lane. Complexity out farming their opponents pretty healthily at this point. Moon Queen down at the 244 gold per minute range. It's really something that I kind of disagree with, was after they push that tier 1 tower, a lot of times you are seeing teams go for 2 very early on. If you're going to do that, don't have your carry go with them, because if your carry dies right there, you're in a lot of trouble. And well, like you saw, the carry did die as Keeper the Forest is doing a little bit of jungling here. Gets stunned out, but stealing some double stacks, and that is very helpful, as Master of Arms is actually going to come over here, and they're going to try to set up an Elemental Void here in a moment, I think. No, not going to be setting up the Elemental Void. There's the charge shot, though, onto Pharaoh, and he'll drop the wall. Elemental Void does come in, not going to interrupt, and he's actually so far away. Moon Queen activates the ultimate, though, and Pharaoh will go down, so Lions gets their first kill up on the board now, and there's a hasted Hammerstorm coming in. Glacial Blast, they're going to try to turn this around, though. Kelpfield goes down, and Hammerstorm looking for a stun. No, not going to find one. Song of the Sea. So Lions make that 2 up on the board, narrowing the lead by quite a bit. And I need to update overlay. Oh. I don't think I need to update the overlay. Hold on. Nope. Tempest actually taking a chain reaction stun right there. Does go down. Mirax is going to come in, though. And, well, there's the Wrath of Pharaoh. Might be able to survive. There's the Root going to be coming in as well. Mirax is taking a lot of damage, and he will go down. So, wow. Good job there from Complexity. Take the tower, take a couple of hero kills as well. And, oh, okay. That's the part of the overlay that I need to update. The score. You are correct. That did get reset. There we go. Shell Surf going to be going in. Sorry, settings don't always get saved when your power goes out. I need an uninterruptible power supply. That's what I need. Never quite understood what those are, but I should look into it. So here, bleeding played by Haxerin. Top farmer in the game, 379 gold per minute. Followed very, very quickly there by Moon Meander. He's at 375 as well. Where Super KGE has picked up his portal key over here on Meraxis. On the other side, Les QQ still pretty far off. 292 gold per minute on him, whereas Super KGE is in the same vicinity, so I'm not sure why their items are so different. I guess bottle and power supply for Hammerstorm, whereas no bottle or power supply for Meraxis. And yeah, going naked steam boots into a blink isn't necessarily something I always agree with. But Meraxis actually has a decent mana pool. If you're just going in and using axes and Quake, not going to be using your ultimate, then you don't really need like a Grave Locket or something right away. But if you're going to be using that ultimate, I mean, I don't think that at level 9 right now, unless he switches to Int beforehand, I don't think he's actually going to have enough mana to cast Quake, the Matrax, and the Portal Key plus like 2 axes. But actually they're all relatively low on mana, so maybe he does. Moonqueen going to try to defend this top lane. Going to throw out some glaives here in a moment. But with only level 2 multi-strike, right? Yes, that was level 2 multi-strike. Not going to be able to anti-push this nearly fast enough. Tempest actually comes in right here. There's the Glacial Blast. And needs to be careful with the Elemental Void if he's going to use it. Not going to use it, though. Keeper of the Force will go down. So great job. They even catch right there with the Forked Lightning. Torture is going to drop as well. One more auto attack, and down he goes. Flensmeister picks up that kill, and Lions with a great defense on the tower. Even going to be able to get the deny on the tower now. And pick up 2 kills for their trouble as well. The gold lead very, very slim at this point. Experience lead still, excuse me, the experience lead very slim. The gold lead about 2,500 in favor of Complexity still. Double damage going to be bottled up here by Hammerstorm, and he's going to be happy with that, especially when he picks up a portal key and 450 gold. Able to smack some people down with that giant hammer. Seal Kid playing Master of Arms. Running around with his red activated, and I've always wondered about this. I mean, yeah, it makes you look cool, but you got to switch to your blue to use your stun if you need to use that. I guess you can knock somebody away right away if you have your red on. And I got to give a personal shout out once again to Seal Kid over on Twitter. He was actually one of the first pro players to follow me on my Twitter, so I've always had a fond liking for him. But if you do want to follow some of these pro players, you can follow Franzi over at coL_Franzi on Twitter. And of course, Moonmeander over at coL_Moonmeander. I'll let you know whenever they're playing, whenever they're streaming, anything like that, so you can make sure to check them out. And if you want to follow Complexity Gaming, at Complexity Live, also there on Twitter. The 2 tanks going at it down here. Meraxis has got to be careful, though, because Moonmeander is in the vicinity. And Moon going for that early Astrolabe. Going to be following it up with some Steam Boots, most likely. I don't think he's going to be going for Midas or an Insanitarius or a Thunderclaw. Anything like that that requires those Gloves of Swift otherwise. Going to be mounting a push onto the Tier 2 tower up here, while Flensmeister and Silhouette are just kind of off farming a bit. Silhouette actually going to be coming in here to try to assist, and about 800 gold off. And finishing up her Nullstone. Not bad. Not bad at all. Middle tier 1 tower goes down. There's a shell surf coming out. Not going to use the teleport function. And perhaps just going to be going for a deny. There's a Quake coming in, actually, as Master of Arms just gets massacred in the background. Elemental Void not going to be catching anything right there. And there's a kelp field coming out. Tempest just gets disintegrated. Shell Surf comes in. Cooper the Forest needs to be careful. Not going to be going down just yet. There he goes. And the Moon Finale finishing off a couple of players there. But no, only just the Keeper of the Forest. Mirax is going to be going down to that double damage Hammer Storm. And wow, look at all that damage on Hammer. 300 damage, in fact, as the DD does expire. And okay, so yeah, that does stack. All right, whoever told me it didn't, it got me all confused. I'm mad at you now, because that does stack. He was at 300 damage with the DD and the Brute Strength, and then he was at 200 damage once the DD expired and he had the Brute Strength on still. So it does stack. Complexity taking the better end of that engagement, as there were a lot of ultimates used right there. And, well, they got the Master of Arms, the Miraxis, and the Tempest, trading only Keeper of the Forest for it. And they were able to get the tower as well. So Complexity has to be happy with that exchange. Silhouette up to 425 gold per minute. And doing real well in levels as well. Up at 500 experience per minute. Going to be able to start just blinking in, as she's going to be working on that blink next, most likely. Blink in, drop a few auto attacks onto a Master of Arms, and then just port back to the Shadow. Easy peasy kills just like that. Invisible Bubbles looking for torture right here. Needs to be careful about that Word of Revelation that does not go down. Bubbles will fall back there. Hunskin once again just gonna be playing that Bubbles. That's not Hunskin. Krebs, excuse me. Lion's team looking to do a little bit of counter pushing here as Complexity just melts this tower in the middle lane. That makes that 5 for their tower count. Extending that gold lead, just on a roll. 5,500 gold ahead to be specific. 2,500 experience as well. So looking good for them in this game as Silhouette just continues to farm. Using that Death Lotus there in the bottom lane. Try to get as many kills as she can before those Tempest Elementals do go away forever, and in the end able to get 5 out of the 6, just like the towers. And well, Haxter only about 1 creep wave, a little more than 1 creep wave away from finishing up his portal key. If he gets all of these, perhaps he might have enough. And no, gonna be about 100 short. Got the low end. Looks like he did vendor something. I don't know what he vendored to actually pick that portal key up, but got something, that's for sure. And now picking up a double damage rune as well. Gonna be going in for a kill here momentarily onto Miraxis. Uses that Shadow, so he's got what, 30 seconds on the Shadow, 25 seconds, something along those lines. So Tree Grapple, uses the Tree Grapple. There's the auto attack damage. Death Lotus coming out. Oh, staying a little bit too close for that Quake. And now we'll just farm with that creep wave, activates the Shadow, and gets back to jungling. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the portal key and the Shadow combination enables you to do. Imagine if that was anyone on the team other than Miraxis. Up at 1,300 length, he could have killed anyone. That would just happen to be who it was. And Moonmander needs to be real careful up here. No. Not in so much trouble after all. SQQ on Hammerstorm making his way toward a shrunken head, about 1,400 gold from finishing that up, and having something like that so early in the game is certainly going to be beneficial to him. Able to jump in there without fear of the Miraxis or the Bubbles or even a lot of the Moon Queen damage, the magic-based Moon Queen damage, that is. Oh, alrighty. Pharaoh, being played by B-Kid, has finished up a barbed armor that's being flown out to him right now. And in addition to that, Mystic Vestments and the Helm of the Black Legion Pharaoh's got to be real happy with where he's sitting on items. 322 gold per minute. I mean, look at him down here in 4th place on the team. But still, almost beating out everyone on the other team. Only 20 GPM behind the Moon Queen. So that says both good things about Complexity and their overall farm. Also bad things about Lions. Funzmeister is not able to farm like he was on Hag in the last game. A hero with a lot less mobility. Moon Queen, I mean, even though she's fast as hell with that Firebrand and high base movement speed, even though she can move around a lot, no escape mechanism, no blink, nothing like that, no invis, and so can be very, very susceptible to dying. Also hasn't been able to really get some stacks just yet. The Lions team, I mean, right there, you just saw double stacked Ancients going down. Gonna go to the supports though and the initiators instead of Moon Queen while she cleans up the jungle, but the number of stacks that she's had in the jungle has been relatively minimal, sitting on 116 CS at 22 minutes in. That's actually really low. Let's take a look at Haxorn's 152. That's certainly more like it for your hard carry. Raxus does accidentally use his TP there, and that's actually a big deal. Not going to be able to TP into this top lane now. So the Lions team, they are all in on this tower. 50 seconds left on the TP for Meraxis. And the good thing for the Lions team is that Complexity shouldn't know that that TP is not available. So they're going to be very, very hesitant to push out this defensive tower. But Lions definitely going to be trying to push down this tier 2 tower before they TP back. Master of Arms is going to be the man selected to get back there and drop that green acid goo. Level 4. And try to prevent this tower from going down as fast as possible. But Meraxis, 15 seconds, so he's actually walking back right now rather than TPing back. That's actually a really big mistake. They're going to lose the tower because Meraxis accidentally TP'd right there. Astrolabe goes up, and now Meraxis is going to be in position. Walked right by a ward right there, though. Needs to be very, very careful. And Meraxis is going to go in. There's the Quake. Elemental Void going to be coming out. No, the Meteor comes down for now. There's the Elemental Void. Catching Keep of the Forest, but there's the Wrath of Pharaoh. Root going to be going down as well. And Move Finale going off. Everyone's still alive, though. No, down goes Tempest. And Bubble's also going to be taking the fall. Complexity, though, gets out unscathed. More green acid goo going to be going down. And Keep of the Forest does go down as well. Ooh, nice use of the Tormented Soul right there. And poor Seal Kid. Oh, poor Seal Kid. He does take the fall. So in the end, they do defend those racks. Lost 3 players though, and didn't even get to use the Elemental Void there. Tempest, Hanskin not having the farm that he was having in the last game, not able to get that nice early Shrunken Head. Even if he did, I mean, Wrath of the Pharaoh just going to be intercepting that every single time. You can see how far B-Kid was standing. He was actually just way back here as the engagement's happening right here, and just lined it up. He's just like, what's up? Right there. Able to hit that Wrath of the Pharaoh, interrupt anything before it was really going to go off. And so the Elemental Void did actually get used there. Excuse me. It caught Moonmeander, and then got interrupted by Pharaoh, so I think I might have said contrary just a second ago. Sorry, it's been a long day. A long day of emotional roller coasters. Of Lulon being here and then Lulon not being here anymore, and then Sender DDoSing my power. Thanks, Sender. Shout out to Sender, though. I mean, he's picked up a new team with the MSN. We'll be working on getting another dimension out of the gold division. That should be good for him. As LesQQ is actually getting caught out right here. He activates the Shrunken Head, and he should be able to get away here. Yeah, no, not going to be chasing him down. And so great job to LesQQ, able to get out of there. Had to waste that Shrunken Head cooldown. Not the hugest of deals, though. Now, still at 9 seconds. Moon Queen looking to finish up her Shrunken Head. That's going to make her be able to stand tall in the middle of these team fights. Hit that Shrunken Head as soon as the Keeper of the Forest ultimate goes off. And looking to farm out the stack. Actually, when she finishes the stack, she's going to be very, very close to finishing up that Shrunken Head. Ooh, getting the best spawns possible, too. A triple Vagabond leader, so might actually be able to finish that one out. She does TP, though. So I guess she was just a little bit wary. Finished up the Shrunken Head with the money from the tower, in fact. And just wants to get back and healed up in time. Try to clear up some of these other creeps before anybody else comes over. And in fact, going to dominate a Skeleton King. So she already does have one Skeleton King over here. Perhaps going to be looking to use this one in the fight. Not going to interrupt any kind of channeling ultimates like Tempest or anything like that. But still, just having a Skeleton King there for one root in the middle of that fight. Not going to be the biggest deal in the world. As there's the initiation of Master of Arms. Meraxes comes back in, though, as well. And there's a lot of damage being done to Moon Meander. Moon Meander going to be going down. The Moon Finale goes down. And so does Torture. There's the interruption on the Tempest ultimate. And Tempest taking a lot of pressure right here as well. Moon Queen trying to man up right here, but Moon Queen is in some trouble. Tempest comes back in, drops the second Glacial Blast. Moon Queen going to go down, though. Not going to go down. Survives for now. So that was a good buyback there on Tempest, saving the Moon Queen. Potion interrupted, and they're trying to actually save the melee racks. There's a TP going to be coming in. They're actually going to go in on Hammerstorm right here. Glacial Blast still going out, and Hammerstorm will take the fall. The racks do go down. Is Bubbles going to be able to get in there, use the tablet of command, and try to run down Pharaoh? There's the offensive master's call onto Tempest. Going to be looking nice job actually getting the stun onto Pharaoh. And so Beacon will fall in the end. 4 players go down for Complexity, trading that for the racks. One buyback there on Tempest. Was there a buyback on Bubbles as well? Let's take a look here. Doesn't look like it. The Bubbles buyback must have been earlier. Yeah, looks like the Bubbles buyback was a little bit earlier. And with 4 players down, including the Keeper of the Forest, who's now back up, but mostly including that Hammerstorm and Pharaoh, going to be looking to take down Kongor. And there's Meraxes to come in here, drops the Hellflower, and this should be going down pretty dang quick. But need to be careful about trying to come over and steal it. But no, Lions should be able to get this one pretty easily. And in fact does go down, so nice. Lions able to clean that one up. Even looking for some kills up here, not going to find anybody. And Tempest has actually got to get out of there, as there's the auto attack damage coming in. Needs to get everybody out of here. Complexity going to put the chase on, and Lions, they're going to run away. All right, gets the portal keys on out, and Bubbles perhaps still in a little bit of trouble. This is the portal key. Wrath of the Pharaoh is available. Saving. Oh, damn. Sidestep King right there with Krebson. A beautiful shell surf with the push stick as well. Very, very well done. Double stacked Ancient's going to be cleaned up by Complexity. Not exactly what Lions is liking, but not a big deal either. Les QQ looking good with that Shrunken Head finished up in a haste in his bottle. Maybe looking for a fight at some point. As Silhouette has picked up a Slayer. Going to be working toward that Savage Mace. Savage Mace can do very, very well against Moon Queen if she does choose to go for the Wing Bow. But only time can tell if she is going to be going for that. A lot of times when you do have Draconis, Silhouette, and Moon Queen squaring off against one another, you really do have to pay very close attention to your opponent's items. If one person's going to be going Wing Bow, the other guy's got to go Savage Mace. If one person's going for that Savage Mace, then the other guy's got to stay away from Wing Bow. So you'll see that kind of item dynamic going on occasionally, just like whenever a Tempest and a Keeper of the Forest are squaring off against one another. They kind of wait around until they can catch the other, knowing that that's going to be interrupting it, and especially Keeper of the Forest looking for that refresher so that he can stop Tempest twice or get the initiation, then stop Tempest, something along those lines. And if they both get refreshers, then it starts to get real crazy. Keeper of the Pharaoh has picked up some post haste, so went straight from that red boots, drops the 2,200 gold to upgrade post haste. Maybe you went Striders in between. I guess you have to have Striders now. Lions playing real passive right now, and they've given up a lot of map control to Complexity, and they're allowing Complexity to farm everywhere. This is a problem that I see repeatedly with Lions, is they do well. They execute well in lanes. They do well in team fights. They take and defend pushes extremely well, but they lose one thing, or they start to get a little bit scared, and they fall back just a little bit too far, and they allow the dominant team to have a little bit too much map control. In this case, they're allowing Complexity to take their own ancients and the Complexity team's ancients. They're also not going to be farming up the bottom lane. I mean, there's no lane wards down here or anything, so nobody can really safely go farm that. But when you have 4 people in your own jungle and your opponents are taking 2 to 3 lanes plus their own jungle plus both ancients, you gotta continue to fall behind, which the experience lead was completely non-existent 2 minutes ago at the end of that Kongor fight. Now up to 2,600. The gold lead was 4,000, now up to 8,000. And the longer that Lion sits around and does nothing, they're gonna fall further and further behind the Complexity team. And this is what Complexity excels at. They excel at just making the right decisions. They excel at being in the right places. And they don't always have perfect team fights, and they don't always have perfect coordination, but you're almost never going to see them just in the wrong position, as, well, coLKid is very much so in the wrong position right now. Actually looking like he wanted to go in right there. Manly. Manly coLKid. Follow him over at twitter.com/coLkid1. And very, very impressive there. The balls on that guy. Bound Eye was doing a little bit of counter warding as well on the other side. Is there Bound Eye yet? No Bound Eye picked up just yet on the Complexity squad. And Franzi needs to be kind of careful. He's walking away to TP on out of there. One thing I will say about coLKid is he's under-leveled right now. He's actually, yeah, you really want to hit that level 11. Get that level 2 Master's Call. Offensive or defensive, whatever you're using it for, it's going to be very useful. But do want to get that, and holy crap. Silhouette is farmed out the yin-yang here. 550 gold per minute, and damn, Haxer just knows where to find it, and this is what I'm talking about here. When you're competing with the rest of your team for your jungle creeps, you're gonna get less farm, like our Moon Queen here. 211 CS as opposed to the 262 here on Haxer, but more importantly, 4-0-6. Hax has played this game phenomenally, hasn't died just yet, and been involved in 10 out of his team's 14 kills. So really, really playing that Silhouette extremely well. Happy to see him on the hard carry here. And looks like we're going to be going into a pause here in just a moment. So yeah, going to be looking at that pause. Somebody needs to go to the little girl's room. Krebson. Man. Man, oh man, Krebson. First thing, you don't even go for a Soul's Bulwark first on Bubbles, and then you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the game. Not going to carry him in mid-wars anymore. Not going to do it. Moon Queen has finished up her Geometer's Bane. Can be able to use that to get rid of that Keeper of the Forest root once again. But no, not going to be doing that just yet. Hanskin's still working on his Shrunken Head. He could vendor his TP and his Mystic Vestments right now and actually pick that up. So you really, really need to have that going into the next team fight. But it's still not going to prevent Pharaoh from breaking it. That's going to be all about positioning. And Pharaoh is always going to be staying way back here. If they're pushing into this lane, he's going to stay way back here. There's a helicopter flying over my house. Did one of you guys call the cops on me? The hell? Oh, man. I mean, that would suck. Wouldn't that be terrible if one day the cops just, like, showed up at my house and arrested me for being, like, too good of a caster or something? I don't know. I don't know, guys. My brain is wandering as this pause is still going on here. But Haxer just spent his gold on something. Let's take a look at the courier. finishing up his Savage Mace. So, not bad there at all. I gotta check one more thing. Okay. Alright, so hopefully this pause will be ending up here pretty soon. Mirax is being played by Super KGE. Big shout out to him, by the way. He's one of the admins over there for the Cryo9 in-house league, which if you haven't checked out and you're 1850 plus, make sure to go check it out, cryo9.com. And, well, he helps myself and the Lawns and Bart keep things running. Even Breaky's over there as well, working as an admin, helping to keep things running smooth. Whenever you guys see the players playing in the in-house league, well, that's what KGE helps to run. And, of course, our second circuit is going to be finishing up tonight. And we're going to be going into the Cryo9 Showdown sometime in the next few days, where we're going to have the top 10 players from the league play off in a best of 3. Winner's going to be walking away with $500, I believe. Maybe $250. Some amount of money, but the winner's going to be walking away with that, and all 10 players are going to be walking away with an exclusive in-game account icon. S2 helping out there, so big shout out to them. And of course, everybody, the top 15 players, going to be walking away with some gold coins. I believe that it's 1,000 gold coins for 5th through 10th, or 6th through 10th, and then everybody else gets 300 or something along those lines. But it's very fun. If you guys like playing with the high-tier players and you're 1850 plus yourself, make sure to go check it out. And of course, watch whenever we're casting one of those games, or whenever any of the players are streaming those. You can support it in that way. And it looks like Trout is going to be joining the game. So I wonder if that means that SG versus Call It Karma is over. Certainly a possibility. Rundown of this game, 36 minutes in. We're at 7,500 gold lead here for Complexity, and a 2,800 experience lead as well. The Lions looking to actually get the push on themselves. Be making their way toward the top lane, where that defensive tower is very, very low. In fact, creeps are going to put it into deny range right here. Are these Tempest Elementals going to be able to take it down? I think you just heard the answer right there. No, they are not denied. Good chain reactions done there from Captain Franzi. And if you haven't heard about that, yeah, I think Franzi's actually been doing the drafting, so I don't know if that makes him the de facto captain or not. But yeah, as with they were moving around roles and moving around players, and Franzi given a shot at drafting. Alrighty, so what are we looking at? Both teams just kind of sitting back still, trying to get their farm on, but I think I mentioned this, that this really does kind of favor Complexity. Complexity just does this better than anybody else, and especially with a Rax down here. These creeps are worth half the experience and half the gold as they would be otherwise, and they're harder to kill. It takes longer for them to die. So you really do need to be careful about that. You need to be careful about giving Complexity too much time to actually get farmed up again. But of course, Complexity, they're playing their hardest. They do not want to fall into that lower bracket, especially this early on. All 3 cycles been making it into the lower bracket after the winners round semifinals. Twice at the hands of Trademark, and once at the hands of Trademark and twice at the hands of Stay Green. As well, Lions is actually pushing up pretty far into the base right now, but going against Super Creeps, you need to be kind of careful with that. And Tempest will start to TP back now. Moonqueen going to be short there to follow. What is she doing? She's trying to push out the middle lane. Can actually try to buffer this, use this tower's HP as a buffer before she has to TP on out. But that tower is just going to drop so fast. Green Goo going to be going out and doing a little bit of work, but Moonqueen needs to TP back in. She's not TPing yet. Wants to take down this tower, and I guess they don't want to fight this. Gonna sacrifice the tower in its entirety. try to bring down the tower in the middle lane, and I don't know what's going on. Lensmeister, you got to take down that tower fast and TP back home. Being very, very, very cautious right now. Token of Life has expired as well, and Bubbles is actually going to come in, do a little bit of scouting. The True Strike from Silhouette's Savage Mace is actually going to enable her to shoot up this hill momentarily. They need Moon Queen here. She's still pushing this middle lane and doing a good amount of damage. But there's the initiation. Quake onto the Master Farm. He goes down. The Shrunken Head's already being activated, and Moon Queen gonna port right back in. There's the Shrunken Head on her. She's gonna activate the Moon Finale here in a moment, but not really doing a whole lot of damage. Root already going out, and now Tempest activates the Shrunken Head, but Silhouette just pounding auto attacks into him. Couple more is gonna finish him off. Silhouette actually gonna get away for now, and there's the Shell Surf Song of the Sea onto Torture, using the Quake now onto Moon Meander. The Hellflower gonna be applied as well, and down goes Franzi. So the Rax defended. Boundi's on the floor, and is that going to be it? Is that going to be the end of the team fight? Looks like it will be. As you can see, I mean, B-Kid's so far in the back. Like I said, he's literally going to do nothing in those team fights as long as Tempest has not ulted. If Tempest can get him in the ult, Lions is going to be able to take a huge team fight. But until then, they can't use that Tempest ult. And so this is actually something that's big in their advantage. Pharaoh is spotted out right here, and they're going to be walking on in. That's the Shadow from Silhouette. Master of Arms leading the charge and baiting out right there. Quake going to be coming in onto Silhouette there. There's the Song of the Sea. The Kelp Field going to go down as well. Shrunken Head's being activated, and Tempest taking some damage in the back. There's the Hammerstone activating his Shrunken Head once more. Moon Queen's pounding at auto attack damage. Tempest does take the Wrath of Pharaoh there, and Tempest will go down. Nobody dead here from the Complexity squad, and Moon Queen in some trouble. She's definitely going to be going down, and Lions taking a terrible, terrible team fight there, and they're probably going to lose Rax. Buyback available on Moon Queen. But does she really want to use it? Of course she does not want to use it. Tempest does not have a buyback available. The top ranks go down as well. And yeah, that Mailer Axe is going to be going down here. There's the buyback on Moon Queen. She's going to try to clear this up. There's the Hammerstorm stun coming in. Push stick away though. Going to keep her safe for now. There's the Shell Surf Song of the Sea. And Hammerstorm actually going to go down in the front. Silhouette taking a lot of damage as well. Couple run attacks. Silhouette goes down. And so, hell, maybe Lions isn't so bad in this after all. Pharaoh going to take a lot of pressure here. There's the Moon Finale going to be going off. Brings down Bubbles, but Pharaoh going to take the fall as well. And so, Lions getting back into this, defending the Rax. Man, okay. I thought that game was possibly going to be over right there. But no, Seal Kid needs to be real careful. Has to use that power supply to make sure that he's not actually died. You need to get somebody back up there to defend this tower, though. Otherwise, you're going to lose this defensive tower, and that is not what you want to do. Having to use his defensive master's call right there to make sure that he doesn't go down. And now going to start to work on the heavy ballista. But negative armor from Acid Goo. Too strong. Renzi over here on Torture looking like he wants to scout around and do something. And B-Kid, level 19. How the hell is he getting so many levels when he's standing so far back in the fights? I don't really get it. I guess that in that last fight he probably grabbed at least 2 levels after assisting in quite a few kills. Silhouette still way out in front for top farm. 562 gold per minute. Haxer and looking phenomenal. Yeah, he ate his Wheaties this morning. He's farming up a Storm. Speaking of Storms, Hammerstorm down there at 315 gold per minute. He's had that Soul's Bulwark finished up for quite a while. Going to reduce his enemy's armor, but not a whole lot else. Going to be seeing if he goes for a Demonic Breastplate relatively soon. Would be about 1,000 gold. A little more than 1,000 gold off of that. Silhouette banking up 3,100. We'll be starting to work on her next big item. We'll see what it is. Does not have an orb yet, and an attack modifier. As Super KGE needs to be careful. Needs to be very careful. One Tempest Elemental Void can end this game if it's perfect. Everybody being real cautious. Real cautious. And B-Kid staying so far back. Wants absolutely nothing to do with that team fight until he sees the Tempest. Foresight here from Franzi, just making sure that they have vision on Concord. On the other side, Seal Kid dropping one as well. Another Water Sight can be coming in here. Down goes that Water Sight, so Seal Kid no longer has vision in there. And Keeper of the Forest going to actually drop some trees up there. Spotting out Kongor, who is at about 60% life. Lexi going to fall back, just going to bait it now. Say, come on, you know you want it. Like, just walk down this area right here, and then you can have it. It'll be really cool. The Lion says, no, I'm not going to fall for it. Gonna play patient. Moon Queen banking up 4,300 gold and picks up a snake bracelet there. So going to be going for the wing bow anyway, as there goes the initiation. Nice arcane shield though, and there's the Hellflower being applied on the Hammerstorm. Silhouette comes in, there's the Moon Finale going to be coming in. There's the Elemental Void, but there's the Wrath of Pharaoh going to be canceling it. Everyone is taking so much damage, and I can't even tell what's going on. Silhouette is actually just pounding in damage, double damage. Hammerstorm going to be trying to bring everybody down, and Lions gets the worst end of it there. Bubble's going to try to get away. Moon Queen is dead, as well as Miraxis and Tempest. Bubbles going to be trying to get out of there, but he falls as well, and that is it, guys. That's going to be the game here momentarily. Lions could not hang in game number 2, and it looks like we're going to be going to a game number 3 here any minute. Buyback on Moon Queen. She does have a Shrunken Head available in 20 seconds. And, okay. Maybe we're not going to a game 3 immediately. Buybacks are pretty good. That was the last buyback for Flensmeister on Moon Queen and Krebson on Bubbles. Complexity very, very happy with the situation still, though. They're going to be able to go take out Kongor. There's no Tempest Elemental Void available. And Silhouette is gigantic. They're very, very happy. Sells that health potion and now going to be coming in to take the token. Well, there's the stun. I just heard a stun go off. And Master of Arms goes down. No eye on him this time, but he is dead. Complexity going to take that opportunity with a 40 seconds of, well, just an advantage, 4v5 advantage with a dead support. Going to try to bring down these racks, and in fact, Silhouette just going to walk on up and start pounding in some auto attacks. Knows that she has the token and her shadow. So she's not afraid at all. Even the Null Stone's still available. There's a Song of the Sea going to be coming in. She's using the Shell Surf to escape. And, well, there's a Quake, actually, that's going to be coming in right here. And Moon Queen, actually, in a lot of troubles. Root going to be going down, and Moon Queen does take the fall. A huge wall of mummies going to be going up as well. Down goes Tempest, and the auto attack damage just too strong. Bubbles goes down as well. The vote to concede going to come any minute. In fact, this is going to be a genocide. Complexity goes 5 for 0. GG well playeds come out. And that's going to do it. Game 3, we are coming for you. Complexity Gaming says, no, Lions, we've had to do this before. We go to game 3. You know the deal. We know the deal. Just don't even try. Just don't even try to end this here 2-0. Guys, we're going to have the conclusion of this best of 3 series coming up here in just one moment. This has been Complexity Casting with me, your casting host, Beef, bringing you HoN Tour live. Cycle number 4, Diamond Winners Round 2, best of 3 series between Lions and Complexity. Score tied up at 1-1, and we're going to be back in game number 3 after just a short break. Before that, though, I'm going to give a big shout out to Complexity Gaming for their support of coLcast and allowing us to be here, as well as to S2 Games for allowing me to be casting HoN Tour, but mostly to Complexity Gaming. Make sure to check them out at the brand new Complexity Gaming website, complexitygaming.com. Looks very, very nice, where you can read about HoN Tour. That's on the front page. Also got a new pickup in the SC2 division, the STC. Some of you involved in StarCraft 2 might have heard of him. He's a pretty damn good player. So make sure to check out the write-up over there. And, of course, we got Filipino champ at the SoCal Regionals as well this weekend, playing some Marvel. That's pretty fun. Make sure to watch that. All that information over there at ComplexityGaming.com. And, of course, make sure to support the sponsors whenever you can, guys. Sound Blaster, Origin, QPad, PNY, Twitch, and G8 brand. Support them because they support us. They support esports. And they support Heroes of Newerth. Guys, we'll be back with Game 3 with Beef. coLcast will be right back.